You left '09 and you went and did other things. The company you started, we're talking about that. And then afterwards, you guys, when did you start 8VC? When did you start making
So I started, so because Palantir had all this really top talent, when people come out, similar to PayPal, they're starting great companies. I was mentoring and helping them. So a lot of my mentors, like Joe, you're basically already running a fund, but you need more money and more people helping you. So I put that together. The first one was called Formation 8. We did 2 big funds, and then we started 8VC with most of that team that spun out. And we're on 8VC Fund 6 now. So we've done 8 really large funds, a bunch of entities around it. And it's been the last couple of years, I mean, it's gone really, really well. Obviously, I've raised a ton of funds, but the last couple of years, things have just accelerated faster than you've ever seen before. Because AI is just making productivity go up. It's making a lot of businesses grow way faster than we've ever seen. I think it's about 4 times faster on average for the median top 100 versus the median, cloud companies that I was in before. So it's just amazing what's going on.
You think VC has been a net positive for capitalism, or?
Of course.
Okay, tell me why.
So here's what VC is like: the evolutionary engine of our economy, right? So whenever you have new technology come along, whenever you have new possibilities come along, the question is, how are you going to take those new possibilities and do a better job in your business? How are you going to do a better job in this area of logistics, in this area of healthcare, in this area of finance,
right,
media, whatever it is? And so what VC really is taking a bunch of smart builders who have new ideas, and it's figuring out how do you empower these smart people to run really hard at creating value in these areas from the new possibilities. And so there's only 2 things in VC. One is the top talent, and 2 is like what's newly possible that creates value.
So how do you do it? How do you find it?
So first of all, you have to be interested in industries. You have to be interested in how things work. How does logistics work? How are these carriers working with the warehouses, working with other people? How are they getting booked? What does the brokerage work? Like, what are all the pieces of the industry? How is healthcare delivery working in America? What are all the pieces? And you have to, and as you start to work on companies helping them, you get to know the leaders. And so over the last 15 years, like we'll bring 100 of the top logistics leaders, like to our vineyard in Napa Valley. We'll hang out with them and we'll see what's going on. We'll hang out with the people who run all the hospital systems and who are using our things there. While I'm in the Pentagon tomorrow morning. That's where I'm going up to DC to spend a lot of time with the guys building and running things in defense. And so you have to be very interested and enjoy these industries, get to know them. And every time you have a success, every time your company helps that industry work better, now you've built a bunch of trust. Now you know who the good guys are. Now the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are going to be easier. So you have these big VC firms that have had a bunch of these wins, and the networks get stronger and stronger. You can learn how to take talent, learn how to build these things, and it's a huge engine of innovation. In fact, America is the best in the world at this, and I think it's one of the coolest sectors that exists, in the world.
What's the business model? The business model is teaming up with somebody else and raising $1 billion fund, and you go find the companies, and then you take the 20% of the upside, and then you split some of the money and put your own money in it. Give me the business model.
So here's the right way to think about it, especially for our generation, people our age, is like you go off and you build a great company and you work really hard. And I get Palantir to work, I get Adapar to work. So now I'm one of the maybe 100 guys in our country who's built a couple big successful companies, and now I know all these other builders, and I know how to build things. I've learned. So now these young guys come to me and they want advice, and so I started advising them. And I realized, wait a second, I know all this talent, I have all these ideas, and then I raise the fund. And so then I raise the fund because now I have the credibility because I've built things. I know how to mentor, I know how to coach these guys because I've done it myself. And I bring people around me who help build these companies as well. So I have 70 people on the team who are the top designers, top tech people, ways to manage it. Then you raise the money, and you charge. It's an illiquid vehicle, which means people lock up their money for effectively 12 years usually is how it works.
12 years?
Well, it's 10. It's 10 with like 3 extensions, and so these funds usually last 12 to 15 years, just because they do, because it takes a while for things to go public. And so people give you the money, and you get some fee on the money to pay the team, and you invest it. And most of the money goes into the ground. The first kind of like you write like you call it a Series A or a Series B. You lead rounds, you take a big piece of the company, and then you'll follow on with more money in the future rounds alongside other friends. So a big part of your job is to help them recruit talent. A big part of your job is to help them have other people put money in after you, right? And so because I know all the other people. When I'm down here in Miami, there's a bunch of big fund managers. We work together, and you're helping them learn how to build the teams, helping them learn how to work with the industry, helping them learn how to raise the money, and then when you have sometimes you sell the company to someone else, sometimes you take it public, and so it's a business model of kind of helping people create these things, helping them succeed.
How do you find winners? How
Well,
much of it is
you want
the founder, the entrepreneur?
And there's no single right answer. Some people are like, it's about the markets. Some people are like, it's about the entrepreneur. So some people it's about the technology culture and tech talent. Some people it's just like, oh, it's just art, and I just know. There's lots of ways of doing it. For me, it's a combination. Like we spend a lot of time on technology culture. I want a company that's recruiting the very, very best, just like with a sports team, the very best athletes in the world, the best technologists in the world. I want a place where the best guys want to go there because they've heard someone else is there who's amazing. And then I want an area that we believe is a market that has new possibilities, that there is a gap that should be disrupted. And usually what I really care about is there's a mission. I really want there to be a mission that matters. Like I'm gonna put up most of my money into things where there's great team, a gap, because what the mission does, the mission brings in the really best people. The mission makes the best people want to work harder on it, and it makes it something that can be a lot bigger. So Palantir was a really big mission. Adipar has a big mission in finance. A lot of my new defense companies, we're trying to help the U.S. Scale our shipbuilding with Saronic. We're trying to help fix areas of healthcare. We're trying to save kids with rare diseases. So I think these missions really attract great talent.
So mission, the bigger the mission, and what process of filtering? I remember when I raised my first round, and I sold my insurance company. They came in, they did an extensive background check. They did all this stuff. I mean, how do you find out?
In Florida, we got to do longer background checks.
You do, right? Yeah, you do in Florida. That's right. That's a good point. And it looks like Palantir's moving to Florida anyway.
Oh,
although, of course, you're not involved. Yeah, they're moving down here. But what do you do? Are you doing background checks? Are you?
Yeah, that's one of the steps in the process. It's not the most important one, but it's just good to.
What's the most important one?
The most important one is to know who the founders are, and to have them be people you can verify somehow in your network are
from the network.
From
so
you have
a little bit of credibility, a little bit of background.
I have to. This is my advantage is that I'm tied to hundreds of these like top tech networks now from things I've built, things I've invested in. We have to use we have to use that network. So it's not that there's not someone in the middle of nowhere who could be great, but if you're in the middle of nowhere and you are really great, your job is to get to know other people and impress them.
What red flags do you have?
Well, there's so many red flags for us. It's just because we have a very particular thing where we're not investing in small businesses. We're investing in things that can get to be really, really big and change industries. And so one red flag is being too obsessed with patents. Usually people think patents matter a lot. For most of these things, it's more about the team and the execution. It's not, I have 20 patents. It doesn't really matter. So if you talk too much about that, it shows you're not thinking about the thing that's valuable, which is the execution. It's a red flag if the person's not full-time. People are always trying to do things part-time. That's never ends up being the giant companies. You need people who are 100% all in full-time. It's a red flag if they don't plan on doing this for a long time. It needs to be their obsession in their life. It's a red flag if they talk a lot about work-life balance, because work-life balance is great for some things, but this is like winning a gold in the Olympics. Do you think the Olympic gold medalists had a good balance?
No.
We're all in.
Yep.
We're all in. So it's like those are types. There's things. It's a big red flag. Is another one that's interesting. If the top first 5 or 10 people don't own a good piece of the company. So if you're keeping it all for one founder and he's paying and giving very, very, very little bit of upside, the first 5 or 10 people, that's a wrong culture, and it's probably not the very best people, because the very best people in our industry, they want to own a piece of something they're doing.
Right. So give me the opposite of red flags.
It's there's people we know who are
so mission is one.
Mission, superstar talent is really key. Early pull from the industry, top guys from the industry who want to be advisors, who are eager to help. But it's usually all comes down to the people and what our network thinks of them.
What's the biggest success story you've had? Best story so far?
There's a lot of stuff. We backed Anduril early on. It's a top new defense company. We backed a company called Quince at the beginning, and it's now, $10 billion valuation. It's probably going to double next year. Cognition, we backed early on, and it's worth $15 billion. It's like a bunch of these top guys. Saronics, like just raising a big round, is building hundreds of ships for the U.S. Navy. It's doing really well. We helped start that, actually.
That's your niche. Your niche is national defense, security. That's
AI, healthcare, logistics too. We've done some big things we sold in logistics that have worked out. I love just fixing things that are broken, man, and making them work better.
When we set out to create a shoe that blends comfort, function, and luxury, we had the choice to make it fast. We had the choice to make it cheap. We chose neither. Instead, we chose Tuscany, Italy. We chose true Italian craftsmanship, each pair touched by 50 skilled hands. We chose patience, spending 2 years perfecting every detail, and we chose the finest quality at every step. Introducing the Future Looks Bright collection. Not rushed, not disposable, not ordinary. Rather, intentional, luxurious, timeless. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.